Now, Rafael, you mentioned in your statement that it's times like these that artists find answers to what they're looking for, or find answers to the things that are going on. So when you were going through these, Rafael, what were you looking for?
Well, first of all, thanks again for having me on. And it's been fun doing this. It's been a good distraction, right? To take me away from what I'm working on to kind of work on this and get a fresh project. Um, but when I curate the works that I do, they're usually I'm trying to tell a story. So they are theme based. I mean, the vast majority. So this was really easy for me in the sense that it felt comfortable because it's the way that I approach the way that I curate my works. Every once in a while, we'll do we'll feature the one artist, but typically uh, the, 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 the shows that I do are curated by, we have a theme, there's a call that goes out, and then we decide who's gonna participate based on those criteria. Um, for me, when I looked at the works, because I always try to tell a story, I think the biggest story that we want to tell is what we're going through right now, right? I felt like we're all closed in. We have this issue of the coronavirus that, that's the elephant in the room. And because personally, I was going through some issues, and as everyone has, um, I try to find a way that I can tell that story based on the images that were presented in front of me. It's always tough to do things online because you don't get to really see texture, and you're not able to see the really appreciate the size and the scope and the fine details. But for me, I approach it from the storytelling of a poem. I think that artists during these crises, and when I mean artists, I mean all artists, whether they be visual artists, whether they be poets, literature, cinema, they have an ability to speak to truth. While a lot of times there's stuff that's going on later on when we go look back in time in history, we find that it's the artists that really have the ability to tell us what was happening during that time. And it's a great crisis has a great way of giving good material to artists. So it's a great time to really tell stories, to share what is happening in our community. And I particularly found it interesting that a lot of the works that were submitted spoke to what I was seeing in my community or what I was feeling. And so it became very easy for me to try to tell that story of what was happening now, which is, this distancing, this crisis that we're going through, the changes that we have here in our community, the way that we do our work, the way that we interact with our family and friends. And so, yeah, so I used this wonderful poem that Kitty O'Meara had written that went viral, and I thought that it spoke clearly what I wanted to express in telling the story that I wanted to tell, utilizing these images.
Yeah, I like your statement about how crisis is when we can really, really begin to unpack and then tell stories. It makes me think about the Harlem Renaissance period and all of these times through history where we've had these things going on, and artists and creatives are the ones that get us through. And so I hope when we get through this, people will remember the artists and the creatives who helped us get through. Now,